What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here, back with another video. Yes, you guys got that right. This is no Bitcoin crap. This is Patriots Global back on the mic to talk about the New England Patriots. I know a lot of you guys have a lot of different questions on what the heck has happened with the channel the last week. I'm not going to get into it in this video. We have a lot to catch up on with New England, but I'm going to be making an entire separate video of exactly what happened throughout the course of the last week that led to my account getting completely hacked and taken down. Just know though that the hackers that got into my profile really did mess things up. They changed a lot of stuff, so I am still getting back to fully having everything back on the channel, so just stay with me. I don't want to waste any more time though. I am more than hyped to be back on the mic, back talking to you guys about the best team in football and of course all of our opinions. And in this one, I want to talk a little bit about free agency. Now, you know, if you guys know the channel, you guys have seen the last several videos, even this offseason, you would know that I feel like a lot of people are not talking too much about the offseason. A lot of people are talking a lot about the 2022 draft, but free agency comes first, and free agency is going to be really important for the Patriots this year, both in re-signing players and in adding additions. In this one, I'm going to be talking about 4 different wide receivers that New England could pick up in free agency. Now, if you guys would like to see this for other positions like running backs, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, edge rushers, linebackers, corners, let me know in the comment section below that you would like to see it and in what position. Now, my first receiver on this list is going to be Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Christian Kirk, and PFF has him graded as their 9th best free agent wide receiver in this upcoming free agency class, and they have him ranked as the 50th best free agent. Now, I also want to put out a little disclaimer about all these guys. I know currently the Patriots have really next to no cap, and they're definitely going to have to free up cap this offseason, even just to re-sign their players, so I fully expect them to do so. So just don't comment in the comment section, well, the Patriots don't have money, because, yeah, they might not have money right now, but there's several different ways, which I made a video on if you guys want to check it out, on how the Patriots can free up cap space, and this team is going to still make moves. Now, Christian Kirk is a guy that I think could actually perform really well in the Patriots offense. And when you look at what the Patriots need, one, they just need explosiveness all over the offense, but especially a weapon, a true wide receiver that can be a threat for the Patriots. But more specifically, they need that Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, Chris Hogan type of guy. Essentially, they need a guy in the slot. And while I wouldn't say Christian Kirk is your Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, he's more of a Curtis Samuel, gadgetish type player, he does perform really well in the slot and can be explosive. Now, he has lined up everywhere, but he has lined up in the slot over 77% of his snaps in 2021. Before that, his previous high was 41.6%. He's a guy that's going to also help add some speed. He's going to be somebody that's not just going to give you outside speed, but speed within the slot. A short guy that is going to play in the slot, but that's something we're used to, whether it's been Braxton Berrios, Edelman, Wes Welker, like I mentioned before. 5'11", 200 pounds, runs a 4.4 speed, so he isn't going to be Nelson Aguilar or Brandon Cooks, but still going to bring more speed to the slot position than the Patriots currently have. Now, Christian Kirk is also coming off of his best graded season here by PFF. He was graded with a 72.1 grade in 2021. He ranked 42nd out of 118 qualified wide receivers in the National Football League in 2021. In 2020, he had a PFF grade of 62.3 and was graded as the 98th best receiver out of 127 qualified wide receivers. And then in 2019, he was a PFF grade of 62.5, in which he was the 91st graded wide receiver out of 122 qualified. He's put up some pretty respectable numbers since joining the league in 2018, despite some of the very good quality receivers that the Arizona Cardinals have had over the last few years. In 2021, he put up a total of 982 yards and 5 touchdowns. In 2020, he put up 621 with 6 touchdowns. In 2019, put up 709 yards and 3 touchdowns. And in his rookie season, put up 590 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's also the type of player who, like I said, is a little bit of a gadget player. They do give him some rush attempts, something that if the Patriots do bring him on, I fully expect them to continue to do, using him on end arounds and fakes. Now, his projected market is to be a 3-year contract with an average of $11 million a year. I don't believe that Christian Kirk is going to make $11 million a year. I think he could make 10, maybe 8 to 9, so it's not necessarily that he's going to be on the cheap option, but to say that he is going to make 11 plus million, I think that a team is going to have to push a little bit to give him that type of money. But if a team really wants him, at the end of the day, they might just do it. Now, next up on this list is going to be Steelers wide receiver JuJu SmithSchuster. Now, I always thought that JuJu SmithSchuster would actually be a good fit here in New England. Now, SmithSchuster is going to be another versatile player here offensively who can play on the outside and can play in the slot, but has mainly been utilized as a high-quality slot receiver. But he's going to be a little bit more height-wise and size-wise of an advantage here for the Patriots than Christian Kirk, as JuJu SmithSchuster sits here at 6'1", 215 pounds. Now, we all know that JuJu SmithSchuster popped off tremendously when Antonio Brown was also in Pittsburgh, but even when Antonio Brown left and JuJu SmithSchuster was kind of forced into that wide receiver 1 role, JuJu SmithSchuster did still perform very, very well. Now, when he is used as a slot wide receiver, he is a very valuable piece. He's a very sure-handed wide receiver, and he's a type of guy that you can rely on and depend on when it comes to critical situations, and I just feel like that's something Mac Jones really did not have this season. Yes, we had little sparks of Hunter Henry. We had some sparks of Kendrick Bourne. But Mac Jones needs his guy. He needs to have somebody that he has that chemistry with to go to in times of need, and JuJu SmithSchuster could be that guy who also is a veteran in the league and has multiple years of experience. Now, JuJu also does rank top 15 in third down receptions by a wide receiver since he was drafted in 2017 with a total of 85. Now, a year ago in free agency, there were multiple teams that were interested in JuJu SmithSchuster. Now, obviously, the Steelers were, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Kansas City Chiefs were all interested in him, but he decided to stay around and sign that 1-year deal with the Steelers. Now, it is being rumored around that JuJu SmithSchuster could be looking to sign a 1-year deal. Honestly, with the season that JuJu just had, he's not going to get a big market value contract. The best case scenario here for JuJu, sign a 1-year deal, pop off in that 1-year deal, head into free agency in 2023, and sign that lucrative contract. In 2021, JuJu was dealing with an injury that only limited him to playing in a total of 5 games, in which he only racked up 129 total yards and 0 touchdowns. With that being said, it's expected that his market value is going to be about a 1-year deal worth $8 million. For a slot receiver that brings quality size and height, brings veteran leadership, and is a sure-handed wide receiver that is dependable and a very crisp route runner, just sounds like an excellent fit here in New England. Now, next up on this list is going to be one that I think some people will agree with, some people will not agree with, and that is Jets wide receiver Jamison Crowder. Now, Jamison Crowder could be a really nice number 2, number 3 option, more likely a number 3 option here for the Patriots as a wide receiver. Somebody that they also have a lot of experience playing against, as he was drafted back in 2015 in the 4th round by the Jets, who the Patriots play twice a year as division rivals. Now, by no means is Jamison Crowder going to be a star in New England. By no means is he going to be a number one wide receiver, and by no means is he going to be the end-all, be-all, the Lord Savior for the Patriots' offensive problems. That's just not going to happen, but he's going to be a very nice addition that I think could really help the Patriots out, again, in a number 2 to number 3 position here in the New England Patriots offensive scheme, especially working here with Mac Jones, because he is another guy, you're going to hear this constantly with all of these guys, is a reliable slot receiver. Now, he is a little bit undersized, 5'9", 177 pounds, but very, very reliable and is a veteran in the league. And when I say reliable, I mean reliable. Now, as a slot receiver, he has dropped only 4 passes on 135 targets since 2020. He has also generated at least 6 targets in 7 of his 8 games played last season. But Jamison Crowder was also dealing with some career lows last year with the New York Jets, which, I mean, the Jets as a franchise are constantly up and down, so I don't know how much I genuinely put that on Jamison Crowder. This past year, he had a 62.0 grade through week 12, which is a little bit above his career low. And then he also had 3.3 yards after the catch per reception, which is a career low for him by 1.5 yards. Now, I do definitely think that in the right system, with the right quarterback, Jamison Crowder could be still, again, a very good wide receiver. Number 2, number 3, and then down from there. Not a number 1, again, by any means, but also because of these issues that he's had, especially in 2021, because the NFL is a what have you done for me lately type of league, the Patriots can get Jamison Crowder for very, very little. I could see the Patriots getting Jamison Crowder for only $3 to $5 million. And honestly, I think 5 might be pushing it a little bit. In 2021, PFF graded him a grade of 64.9, and he ranked 77th out of 118 qualified wide receivers. In 2020, he had a PFF grade of 75.3 and was the 37th best wide receiver out of 127 qualified wide receivers. And then in 2019, he had a PFF grade of 73 and was the 40th best wide receiver out of 122 ranked receivers. Like I said, this past year, not anything too special. It really was a career low for him. He put up 447 yards, 2 touchdowns, and was averaging 8.8 yards per reception. In 2020, he was able to put up 699 yards and 6 touchdowns, averaging 11.8 yards per reception. And his best season came in 2016, when he put up 847 yards, averaging 12.6 yards per reception and 7 touchdowns. That was actually the second time he put up over 800 yards. The second time was in 2019. And lastly on my list is going to be wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. And I know a lot of people at this point are going to be like, I'm done with the OBJ to the New England Patriots rumors. Every single year, every single opportunity that he could even potentially be joining this team, it is highly talked about. Now, he did say that he actually was interested in joining the Patriots before he went and signed with the Rams. It was actually between the Patriots, the Rams, and the Saints. Ended up, of course, going to the Rams, which does make a lot of sense looking at it. But he did say if Tom Brady was in New England, it would have been an immediate sign. Now, since OBJ had been picked up by the Rams, he is starting to look a lot more like the old OBJ. With that being said, him heading into free agency, the way he's playing, him making a legit Super Bowl run could up his market, and wouldn't surprise me to see the Rams try to go ahead and make another run at signing him in free agency. But of course, knowing that OBJ's time in the league is ticking down, and this could be one of the real last opportunities he has to actually sign with the Patriots, maybe this gives him an opportunity to step back, look at the hype Mac Jones is getting around the league, and finally work under Bill Belichick and New England's coaching staff. Now, some people will say he isn't a true wide receiver one. Others will. I think that he would be a good wide receiver one for New England. Now, is he going to be elite of the elite? No. Okay, he's not going to be Jamar Chase. He's not going to be Devontae Adams. And he's not going to be Tyreek Hill. But he's an easy plug-in number one wide receiver for the Patriots that would actually qualify as an actual wide receiver one for this team and would open up this offense in a plethora of different ways, giving Mac Jones that true guy that he needs. I think OBJ could give the Patriots some of that old Josh Gordon-esque type of play. That Josh Gordon flashback. The type of guy who is just a really strong receiver, hard to go up against, hard to guard, but can easily take a slant route that's just 4 or 5 yard reception and take that to the house. And I know a lot of people want to say that OBJ hasn't been a good receiver the last several years, but in 2021, he had a PFF grade of 73.9, which ranked him as the 36th best receiver out of 118 qualified receivers. In 2020, he was graded a 75.3 PFF grade and qualified as the 37th best receiver out of 127. And then in 2019, he was dealing with some injuries. He was the 60th best wide receiver out of 122 qualified. Now, no matter what, Odell Beckham Jr., he's going to have a market. The projected market value for him is a 1-year, $14 million deal. Now, of course, he did have a pretty big transition a little more than midway through the season when he was released by the Browns and then went and signed with the Rams. Everything was happening for Odell very, very quick. Now, he could use this to his advantage with how he's playing and look to sign one big deal, or he could sign a 1-year contract and kind of make that prove-it year and then go out a year later, sign where he wants with a big lucrative contract. Nonetheless, I just think Odell Beckham Jr. to the Patriots has gotten so much hype over the years for a reason. We as fans, OBJ's a player, Bill Belichick, we all deserve to see what this potential marriage could look like. And I think with the type of player OBJ is in the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick-led offense with a quarterback like Mac Jones, who is deadly accurate, could just be a match made in heaven. Now, what are your guys' thoughts on my 4 receivers that the Patriots should target and could target in free agency in just about a month? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already for all of your New England Patriots news. It's great to be back, guys. Let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel about this. Let me know in the comment section below some videos you guys want to see. But without further ado, like always, go Pats.